co-host.
Hmm?
Co-host.
Oh yeah,
Co-host.
yeah. Uh, Begin with a deep breath in and out, breathing in the essence of what is true, and breathing out that truth back to the universe. And once again, a deep breath in and out. And on the next breath, ask yourself the question, the body is doing the activity of breathing, but who is experiencing the breath? And breathe out slowly and become present. Become present to this moment. Become present to all that there is. This is it. There is no other this than this. सर्वे भवन्तु सुखिनः सर्वे सन्तु निरामया सर्वे भद्राणि पश्यन्तु मा कश्चित् दुःखभाग् भवेत् असतो मा सद्गमय तमसो मा ज्योतिर्गमय मृत्योर्मा अमृतं गमय ॐ शान्ति शान्ति शान्तिः हरि ओम श्री गुरुभ्यो नमः हरि ओम तत्सत the recording great so hello everybody, how is everyone? कैसे हैं? कौमुदी जी बहुत दिनों के बाद देख रहे हैं आपको। सुरेश जी कैसे हैं? फाइन, गुड गुड, यस, एंड रिकॉर्डिंग हैज रीस्टार्टेड, थैंक यू। हेलो अविनाश, लोपा,
Yeah, hi Sanjay.
कुनल
Good
जी,
evening.
नीलिमा जी, वंडरफुल। I sometimes wonder whether the feminine gender is more interested in spirituality than the men. I actually remember there was one in I was in the US, and there was this lady who had a session. So she channels Angel Raphael. Okay, so Angel Raphael is a angel who is very connected with the earth and with humans, and with all what you believe and all is whatever it is. But I was curious about it, and I was looking for some answers in my life, so I actually went, and I arrived at this place, and the parking lot was full, and I'm like, wow, there are literally, must be 100 people must be at least 100 people in this place, and it's not a very big place. It was a yoga center, which I had a meditation hall, and so I entered, and the place was filled, all women, all, not one guy. The lady who channels Angel Raphael, of course, she was a woman, and I'm still sometimes in touch with her. And her daughter was there sitting on the stage, and then the hall was filled with women, and I'm like, did I like enter the wrong place, or or men are not allowed, or did I make a mistake in reading the announcement, or I was I was so perplexed. And but I just went in and I sat down, and that's the first thing I asked this lady. I mean, are men allowed in this or not? Because it's like 99 women. And I wonder what it is. I think, um, I don't know. What is it? What is it? Men are more practical, or women are more practical, or men are less spiritual, more spiritual, or they already know all the answers and they don't care to do this, or what is it? What do you think? Or have you noticed this? I mean, women are the ones who like, जब भी कोई त्योहार आ रहा है, ओ अभी नाग पंचमी आ रही है, ओ अभी शिव, महाशिवरात्रि है, ये करना है, वो करना है, उपवास करना है, ये करना है. The guys are like, ठीक है यार. तुम जो करना है कर लो. हम तो मिलते हैं, बियर पिएंगे, हंसेंगे, गाएंगे. And nothing wrong with that, but I'm saying, unless you're interested in the deeper questions of life, you're missing something. But what do you think? Women are more spiritual? What is it? I think certainly they are more open
Men are
to.
more practical, basically.
Men are
They
more
are left
practical.
brainy.
Yeah.
They are more left brainy. Ladies are usually right brainy or easy to
Yeah.
manage, I think.
Yeah, that's one possibility. Correct, correct. Here comes one more male. Yay!
Now we equal. Now we equal the number.
Now we are equal. Very good. Almost equal. One, two, three. Yeah, we are actually equal. Good. So राजेश जी, चर्चा ये हो रही है कि how come there are usually more members of the female gender than men in a lot of these sessions. And yeah, spiritual leaders seem to be men. All the gurus, most of the gurus seem to be men, but a lot of the following seems to come from the women. And you are right, Kamudi, when you are saying is no, what do you mean except Brahma Kumaris? Brahma Kumaris is headed by women. Most of the teachers are women. Most of the leaders are women. The leader, the original, the Sadhu Vaswani or whoever that person was, that's a male.
Shiv
But
Baba, this is Shiv Baba, his
Shiv
name.
Baba, but all most of them are ladies. This what do you call Sister Shivani and all these. The main leaders are all women. So I'm wondering. But of course, like you say, practical and spiritual are not opposite. You're absolutely right in that sense. Doing things on the practical, but on the other hand, women tend to be more practical also. They are the ones who will say कि चलो ये स्कूल का टाइम हो गया, चलो खाना बनाने का टाइम हो गया, चलो ये किया वो किया. The guys are willing to just hang out. So the women are more practical also. But anyway, uh, right. So so another question, another question. I think, of course, overall there is no such. There's only feminine energy and masculine energy, which is there in both men and women, and have both are divine. There is no difference. It's all one and the same, and it's you know, but just some general thoughts. It doesn't have to be that way. uh, when each one of us can embrace both energies, the male and the female energies within us, that's the true integration, the Nar Nareshwar. So, um, one more question I had. Yeah, women are curious, men don't ask, they're satisfied. Radha and Parvati came from Krishna and Shiva, they say, right? Yeah, but I think those are male dominated stories that, it's just by and large all the stories and the books and histories written by men. And so if they sit down to write the history of the world, they will put Shiva first and put Parvati second. But and it's not about men and women, but I think the feminine energy, the female energy, is certainly as divine, if not more divine, than the male energy, in terms of creativity, in terms of nourishing, in terms of lovingness, in terms of giving. We guys tend the I shouldn't say we guys. The male energy tends to be more self-centered, self-centric. The female energies tends to be more outward looking, taking care of everyone. And in fact, I'm forget about the men and women difference, but we as human beings, as a species, I'm reading a book called Survival of the Friendliest. And so far, I'm sure everyone has heard the phrase survival of the fittest. Everyone has heard survival of the fittest, that it's a
Darwin.
it's a dog eat dog world. आपको अगर survive करना है जीवन में, then
Darwin's law.
Darwin's law of survival and evolution, that the fittest survive, and by evolution, this is how people have evolved. But what this book is doing is something very interesting. It is challenging that notion, that is it's really survival of the fittest. So is competition more important, or is cooperation more important? Yeah, and what they're finding is they did some many studies, and especially on these species called there are out of all the species that man is related to. So if we want to understand man, then we can take one or two steps back and try to understand those species and their behavior, which is not as complicated as human behavior, so that we can understand ourselves at a little easier and more fundamental level than if we try to study human behavior. Of course, that is also a very valid uh, piece, field of study, anthropology and social sciences and all that. But if you go back one or two species from our common ancestor, so the chimpanzees and the bonobo monkeys are the two closest to us in terms of DNA. So chimpanzees have approximately 95% common gene sequence as human beings. 95% same. the sequence of genes is exactly the same, 95 out of 100. And bonobo monkeys is the same, 97.5%. 97.5% bonobo monkeys are exactly the same uh, as human beings. So they studied bonobo monkeys, and oh, there's an interesting side note on the bonobo monkeys, which remind me to tell you what that side note is if I forget. But but so they studied whether competition was more important or cooperation was more important in bonobo monkeys. So, for example, if there was a colony of bonobo monkeys and the experimenter would walk towards into that area with one pineapple, which is certainly not enough for everyone, but one pineapple, the first bonobo monkey which would see the pineapple would make a noise in notifying everyone that, hey, pineapple has come, guys, come, aa jao sab khane ko, pineapple aaya hai. So rather than thinking, the bonobo monkey does not think to itself that, let me, make sure I get my pineapple, बाकी के सब जाए भाड़ में. वैसा नहीं सोचता है वो सोचता है कि ये पाइनएप्पल सब मिलके खाते हैं, and they would cooperate and call everyone to the what is being offered, and so that everyone can enjoy. And they did another experiment where they had one bonobo monkey in a cage and another bonobo monkey in another next cage next to that bonobo monkey. So monkey 1 and monkey 2. Between the two, they had a door, and only one of them had a key with which they could open that middle door to go back and forth. And both the monkeys knew how to open it if they had the key. So whenever a very, very special treat was put into the cage of the first monkey with the key, before eating it, he would open the cage and the door in the middle and invite the other monkey to come and eat with him or her and share it before they would eat it themselves, because he could easily eat it himself. The other guy was not even there. But cooperation is considered by them to be a much more important characteristic than. They did one more experiment. They put one monkey in the middle, two on the side. On one side was a monkey which the middle monkey knew and was friends with already. And on the other side, they put a stranger monkey that this middle monkey did not have any previous interaction with, except he knew that it is there. That's all. He can see through and knows that there's a monkey, but I don't know who he is or she is. Actually, they did not want the mating and sex and all that to enter the scene. So they're all males. So when the food was put in and he had the keys to both the doors on the two sides, the middle one. So food was put in the middle door, middle monkey in the middle. The one in the middle would invite both of them first, open both the doors so that all three of them could share whatever was there. But guess which door he opened first? Every time he would open which door first? The one he knew or the stranger? His friend or the stranger? What do you think?
Stranger.
Stranger.
Other guesses? Stranger or friend? Friend को पहले बुलाया कि stranger को पहले बुलाया?
I feel friend.
Friend को पहले. Okay. Who else? Avinash, chalo, opinion.
Yeah,
Opinion
stranger.
poll. Stranger first. Kaumudiven. Stranger first. नीलिमा जी, stranger को पहले बुलाया कि friend को?
Friend को.
Friend को पहले बुलाया. Sonal.
Friend.
Sonal. Friend.
Friend.
Okay. Okay. So the answer is stranger. Stranger first. Can you imagine?
Why?
Because every stranger is a potential friend, and increasing your circle of friends is more important as a species for growth of the species. Okay, so these are very, very intelligent monkeys. And now what the understanding is coming is that even the reason that we as human beings have survived, not just survived, but we have thrived. We have thrived to a point where we are able to do all this stuff, travel around the world and see places and talk to each other like this, and computers, and send a rocket. Remember that session we had on the Hayabusa rocket that went to an asteroid and brought back samples? They have found in those samples, now the studies are coming, they found water in it, and they found the ingredients of life and so on. Lob, can you call San? I think maybe she wants to join this. She's calling me.
Sure, I'll call her.
Okay. So anyway, what they're saying is that reason that we as human beings have been able to do all this much more than any other species in the world through millions of years. In 10,000 years, we have progressed as a species more than other species have done in millions of years. And the reason for it is our basic understanding of cooperation on a massive scale. We as a species cooperate with each other on scales that are unimaginable. I mean, look at this COVID situation. Oxford University does some research in England. AstraZeneca is a Swedish American company. Astra is the original American company. Zeneca was the Swedish company. Astra and Zeneca come together and form AstraZeneca. They go to Oxford Research and say, okay, guys, we need to figure out a vaccine. And there are researchers in AstraZeneca, there are researchers in Oxford University who are all experts in their own fields and have so much knowledge in their particular area of expertise, whether it's virology, whether it's gene behavior, whether it's the sequencing the genetic code of the coronavirus, all that stuff. And together they come up with what was probably among the first vaccines that had a very high level of efficacy in the world. Not only that, they go and they bring that formula and that formulation to a company called the Serum Institute of India, where actually the serum gets manufactured on a massive scale. And there are other companies that make the syringes and so on and so on, and the vaccine is made by SII. And that is the only reason within a matter of months, where vaccines in the past, if you look at polio vaccine, took decades. Smallpox took decades. Smallpox was rampant. People were dying left, right, and center for years. So this cooperation on a massive scale, this friendliness on a massive scale is much, much, much more important than competitiveness. So competitiveness gets you to a certain level. Maybe you can survive. If you're competitive, okay, you will survive. The other one doesn't survive. And out of that competitive nature and, all that stuff, we are able to, take the species up to a certain level. But putting a man on the moon, or putting a woman in space, or putting out this COVID vaccine, and not just one company, 3, 4, 5 companies all over the world have come up with this different vaccines. the DNA sequencing itself, you know, the project for figuring out the DNA code of human beings was a massive project. I mean, you are talking about a sequence of the RNAs, which themselves are complex structures, and there's a particular sequence in which these cells are arranged, these proteins are arranged, which gives the cell the code for how it has to build the protein of the cell and reproduce and all that. And to know this sequence would have taken, was taking decades and decades, until there was a global consortium where everyone said that, you know what, everyone is going to benefit if we figure out this DNA sequence. And they said, let's pool our resources. Instead of trying to compete and be the first one to find out DNA sequence, you do this part, I'll do this part, you do this part, you do this part, you do this part, and together we will put it all together when we come back to it, and share all with all. That was the agreement by this consortium. And in a matter of, I mean, the even with that cooperation, the timeline, they thought it will take 10 years. They finished the whole thing in a matter of less than 5 years. The entire genetic sequence of the human body, the human DNA, was sequenced completely because of this cooperation. I mean, think of our own lives, right? Forget about the world and all that. Our own lives. You and I, if we were left to our own resources and did not have the benefit of cooperation from thousands and millions of people who have gone before us, or the books that we have read and the people we have met and the teachers who have taught us, if we had to figure out the simplest thing like gravity, what the hell is gravity, or simply figure out the simplest things, impossible. It would have been impossible in one lifetime to do it. We would not have been able to, you know, barely we may have figured out language and words and writing and reading, maybe, although I doubt even that. But we are standing on all this knowledge of so many people. If within 2-3 years we know how to walk, talk, understand gestures, all this stuff. Within 5 years we know how to read. Within 10 years, 15 years, we know how to count, we know how to understand mathematics, logic, everything. By the time we are done with college, we have the knowledge that would have taken us lifetimes to gather if we had to start on our own. So this cooperation, this friendliness, this compassion, this is what is our strength, is what is giving us this massive boost in our life. And from an understanding of, to me, why is it so? Why do we want to cooperate rather than compete? And why are we so good at it? And we all realize now, as resources are getting scarcer and scarcer, cooperation is the only way to survive. Like here, right itself, even after the manufacture of the COVID vaccine, the whole world realizes that unless all countries everywhere get vaccinated, people everywhere get vaccinated, me just getting vaccinated on my own is not going to be enough. Because people will travel, people will go to places, people will come from different places. And if those people are not vaccinated, they will again spread it to each other within our country. So cooperation is almost becoming mandatory and required, not only for ourselves, but for conservation of species, conservation of forests. We all need oxygen. We all need water. It's not Brazil's problem. It's not the problem of the Amazon forest only, that to maintain or conserve Amazon. If Brazil does not conserve Amazon forests and the whole forest cover that is there in the world today, we are all in danger. So this interdependence is becoming much and much more clear on a practical level. on a realistic level. Same thing with chemicals, same thing with water, same thing with pollution. Unless we worry about each other, and this is happening even at a small scale, right? Today we are worrying about we used to worry about our neighbor's illness little bit, but now we are hypersensitive. अरे आप ठीक है ना, आप ठीक है ना, क्योंकि पीछे ये कॉन्वर्सेशन चल रहा है, क्योंकि आप नहीं ठीक रहेंगे तो वो मेरे को लग जाएगा. Is everyone okay? Is everyone taken care of? This virus has forced us in the direction of developing care and compassion for your neighbors, for your guests, for your servant also, for your staff who is working in your house. You are much more concerned. ठीक है ना, तबीयत टेम्परेचर नहीं है ना, खांसी वासी नहीं आ रही है ना, जिंदगी में कभी पूछा नहीं उसको खांसी आई या नहीं आई. अभी आज हर बार आएगा तो देखेंगे तेरा ऑक्सीजन लेवल तो ठीक है ना भाई. We are being forced into love, we are being forced into compassion because we were not doing it enough on our own, because now our own things are at stake. So this idea, this understanding that we are interdependent, and rather than competing, we better cooperate, we better worry about others, we better have compassion for others, we better care for others, is slowly being forced on us. But at the same time, it is also our nature. We want to cooperate, we want that everyone should grow, everyone should be happy, everyone should be comfortable, and so on. And our own behavior, if I sanitize, then I know that more people are becoming aware of sanitizing their hands. Or kal jaake, because I am sanitizing my hands, then I have more confidence that everyone must also be sanitizing, and therefore I am also safer. But to me, there is one more driving factor, which is creating this awareness of interdependence. And Purushottam ji is smiling because he's figured out where I'm going now. ये बात कहाँ जा रही है उनको समझ में आ गया है. शायद सभी को भी समझ में आया होगा at some level. Why do we care so much about cooperation? Why are we so cooperative? Why do we do this on such a massive scale? What is the motivating factor? What is the driving force? Why do people care for each other at all? Why are we friendly? What is behind it? What do you think? Safety. Yeah, safety is one factor, but safety because we are afraid, there is fear, so we want to be safe. Okay, so that is at one level. He has figured it out, so he knows the answer, I'm sure. But boliye, why?
We are part of that one. We are part of that one.
Exactly. Need care. Humans need care, so they care for each other. That's true at one level, Kaumudiji, but something deeper is at work. Something deeper is at work. Ultimately, we know and realize that there is no real separation. We are all one. We are all one. At the end of it, we are not just one with all humans. We are one with all that there is. So we don't only wish to care for other species and trees and animals and all that because, I mean, we don't think if you see an injured cat or dog and you feel like helping that cat or dog, it's not because, oh, एक दिन जानवर नहीं रहेंगे तो मैं भी survive नहीं. We don't think that way. We just feel like doing it. We just feel love. We just feel compassion. We want to do it. And that comes from a deeper source than simply survival or fear or safety. And that deeper source is that inherent one source that we are all manifestations of, that we are at, at the root level, at the ultimate level, we are all actually one. We are all actually connected. And that when one child is crying somewhere, all hearts are crying. And all of humanity is in pain. That there is a collective pain which we are aware of and in touch with. And it affects us. And because we are in that sense all one. So yeah, and so this inherent oneness, which we know is at behind all of it, is the driving force, and which is what is taking us towards that safer, more prosperous, more advanced, more beautiful, more sustainable, more caring, more loving, more wonderful world that we all want. Yeah, Suresh is saying we are interconnected. Exactly. We are not only interconnected, we are interdependent. It is even more than just connection. We are interdependent. So we have two choices. We have to be हम अगर interconnected है and we realize this, that if we as a species are not caring about trees and we are not caring about microorganisms and the bacteria and the small species which form this whole ecosystem in such a critical way, that we are not careful about those things, eventually life for us will become very, very, very difficult, if not impossible. Do you know that if bees, only one species, bees, if bees disappear from the planet, the scientists have done a study. If bees disappear from the planet, within 5 years, there'll be no crops anywhere. Nothing. Nothing will grow. We cannot survive even 5 years without bees. That is one species. Can you imagine? And the tragedy is that literally n number of species, many species are going extinct every single year. Every year, these species are just disappearing. And we have no clue how that is going to impact us in the future. And we keep on cutting the trees and we keep on expanding and keep on growing and keep on going after our imaginary needs. 100 crore चाहिए एक महीने में. क्या करोगे बाप रे? So these imaginary needs keep on growing, and we put pressure on somebody puts pressure on somebody, and everybody is in a stupid rat race. भले फिर फॉरेस्ट डिस्ट्रॉय हो जाए, जंगल डिस्ट्रॉय हो जाए, आदमी डिस्ट्रॉय हो जाए, जाने दो भाड़ में, मेरे को ये चाहिए बस. Not realizing that ये खुद के पैरों पे कुहाड़ी मारने वाली बात है ना. That one day we will by this infinite greed we are doing this. So we have two choices. One is to be treated like fools and naughty children and forced into love and forced into compassion, the way coronavirus is making us compassionate for our neighbors, quote unquote compassionate. And the other option is to understand and see. Yeah, Suresh, it's a cycle of destruction and creation, but how long do you want this creation to last? Are you willing to just throw in the towel and say, chalo, destroy? You ask anyone in the world, we are ready to destroy the world. Do you want to exit the world right now? No, we want this creation to sustain, to grow, to blossom. And what is the scale of that cycle? Is it millennia? Is it thousands of years, millions of years, eons? Or do you want this to end in 5 years, 10 years, 20 years, which is the way we are headed? So if we don't want this cycle to end in a matter of a few years or a couple of decades, and we want to grow even further, because we know that our potential as humans is not yet fulfilled. We are capable of much more love. We are capable of much more art. We are capable of much more science. And we need the time to be able to do that as a species and as individuals. So if we are not prepared to throw the towel in and say, भाड़ में जाए दुनिया, जला दो इसे, फूंक डालो ये दुनिया, मेरे सामने से हटा दो ये दुनिया, तुम्हारी है, तुम ही संभालो ये दुनिया. सुना है ना प्यासा का गायन गीत? So unless we are ready for that, then we better wake up. So we can wake up in two ways. One is a rude awakening. वो छड़ी लेके कोई उठाता है कि नफट इंसान, पागल इंसान, बुद्धू इंसान, बच्चा इंसान, उठ और बचा अपने आप को, और बचा ये पशुओं को, ये पेड़ों को, ये पौधों को, ये जमीन को, ये धरती को, वरना मरेगा. That is one option. The other option is to wake up on our own, to be woken up gently, saying, listen, you are one with this species that you're destroying. Do you really want to destroy all these animals? Do you really want to kill the forests? Do you really want to kill all these animals and birds? Do you really want to destroy the water sources? Do you really want to destroy all the greenery and the lakes and the rivers? Do you really want to do that? So if we ask ourselves this question honestly and look within and find that there is love, that I am awareness, and each thing, each experience in my life, each object in my life, हर एक जो मुझे दिख रहा है, वो मेरा ही एक मैनिफेस्टेशन है, मेरा ही एक स्वरूप है, मैं ही हूं. If we see that, then all these things will happen naturally. कोरोना वाली छड़ी से उठाना नहीं पड़ेगा. खुद जागेंगे, खुद समझेंगे, and that action will be spontaneous and out of love. And you understand what is essentially important, what is really important. What is really important in my life? And when we go for what is really important in our life, then automatically the destruction of species and jungles and all that automatically stops. Automatic. उसको कोई करने की जरूरत नहीं है, क्योंकि तुम्हारी जरूरतें ही कम है एक्चुअली. जरूरतें अगर आधी हो गई, पौनी पा हो गई, और 10% हो गई, तो डिस्ट्रक्शन ऑफ फॉरेस्ट एंड डिस्ट्रक्शन ऑफ स्पीशीज एंड ऑल दिस, ये ऑटोमेटिकली बंद हो जाएगा. Because you are satisfied within yourself. Not because you are sacrificing or you're giving up something, but because you are okay. You discover your own inner happiness, your own inner peace, your own inner love, your own inner joy, which is not dependent on, having 100 crores every month. So when you realize that, then you drop all those things. And then naturally the whole balance begins to happen. Naturally the whole balance comes about. So getting in touch with our own true self, getting in touch with our own natural compassion is the way forward at the individual level and also as a species. And the more urgently and the more quickly we get this and start living it, the more we can go in that direction. Jainism, for example, uski jo customs hai, you will find that it is, in fact, I came across a book, Jainism and Ecology, that everything about Jainism, about eating the minimum possible, eating vegetarian, first of all. When you eat vegetarian food versus non-vegetarian food, your impact on the planet, the higher up you go on the food chain, to get the same amount of protein, you need 3 times the amount of land, 4 times the amount of water, 4 times the amount of sunshine. If you eat oats, you need, let's say, X. Then you eat a bird which eats the oats, then you need 3x of water, 3x of, for the same amount of protein and the same amount of calories. So, so naturally and automatically, that way of living, that lifestyle, where you are okay with less and less, where non-violence is your prime motivation, then automatically you're taking care of species and of the world and of animals and the planet and indirectly yourself. This is called enlightened selfishness. Baba, be selfish, but be at least enlightened selfish. कि मुझे survive करना है, इसीलिए मैं ये सब कर रहा हूँ. The unenlightened selfish says, अरे मुझे ये पसंद है, मैं खाता हूँ बस. That is also selfishness, but it's an unenlightened selfishness. And all this comes naturally, to be made aware of whatever I'm saying is good, but to discover the truth of it within us itself, that this is true about I, that I really am. I am this awareness which, wherever I look, there is only awareness. There is no I except awareness. Then all this happens naturally. Yeah. So all of that happens naturally. And coming back to what is essential, and coming on your own to what is really essential, rather than what we think is essential. So you will come naturally to that. So last time again, I spoke about, wow, we are again almost short of time. Wow. I think I have nothing to say, and I have maybe 10 minutes of something to share. But the minute I start sharing it, the time just disappears. But so for the next 5 minutes, and I want to do this for a longer time next time onwards, is everything that you've heard so far today has had some associated experience or some associated understanding that has happened to you? Yes or no? Some new understanding, some new experience has dawned. So now I would like for us for 5 minutes to be with that understanding and that experience, and let whatever I said all the words, all the thoughts around all this slowly just evaporate and just go away, just disappear, and stay with this core understanding, wordless understanding, wordless experience. उसके साथ रहिए. So just close your eyes and be with the understanding of oneness, the understanding of who I really am. And allow the memories of these words, the thoughts that were associated with these words, to simply kind of float away. We are not pushing them away. They are our friends. They have brought us to this understanding. But now we want to shake their hand and say bye to them and stay with the experience and the understanding at the core level. Wordless understanding. Wordless experience. This wordless experience and understanding, allow that to remain with you and guide you and lead you and be with you in every situation. And allow it to tell you, allow it to run you, allow it to guide you towards its own qualities of peace and love, harmony. And let it become more and more of a living presence in your day-to-day life, in every interaction. Okay, with that, we slowly open your eyes. And I'd asked for a reminder for one side note on the bonobo monkey experiment, which I remembered while we were sitting. So guess what? Bonobo monkeys are one of the few species that has survived for many millennia. And guess what? The leader of a bonobo monkey community is always a female. Bonobo monkeys who thrive on cooperation and friendliness and love, the leader is a female. Can you imagine? One of the only species in the world where the leader, the alpha member of the community is a woman, is a female. Even though she's much smaller, much weaker physically than the bull apes in that community. And how it works is also very interesting. If a male tries to dominate and take over, become the alpha male and become the dominant force by bullying the weaker female who is much less strong than him, all the females gather and make life miserable for that guy. The females band together. The females stand by each other and drive this guy out of the thing, and he doesn't dare. He does not dare to challenge the authority of the alpha mother, the maternal leader of the community. So back to that other conversation we were having about the female and male energies. But so yeah, friendliness, cooperation, all this stuff that our mothers taught us is what's keeping us going, guys. Not this macho stuff. There's another book.
Oh God.
I have lost him. Is it Sanjeev there or have I?
No. Sanjeev is coming. Sanjeev ji is coming.
Okay. All right.
Come back.
I think Sanjeev ji lost his connection.
Yeah, I think should we wait?
Let me call her.
Hello, can you hear me?
Yes.
Okay,
Yes, we can.
okay, wonderful. Okay, great. So we'll on that note we'll close. And for Saturday, I want you to think about, let's say you are going to redecorate your house. Okay. Then what are some of the things you would do? What are the important things you would do in your house? Okay, I want you to come think about that and come back. Okay, everyone got the assignment for Saturday?
Sanjeev ji.
Yeah.
Is tomorrow your satsang there?
Oh yeah,
26th
yeah.
is
Tomorrow,
the
Friday,
last
satsang is
Friday.
there. The SSY satsang is there. We will post the link on the Open Door channel, so everyone can join. It's at 7:30, I believe, or is it
7:30.
Yeah, 7:30.
Sona, if
So
you
7:30.
have the link, please put it on Open Door.
Yeah, I have the message. Tomorrow morning will be the link.
Okay, fine.
so put the message for now. Tomorrow morning you can post the link.
Okay.
So
Then I
everyone
will
can,
circulate it.
yeah, everyone can join, and it's an interesting topic. So everyone is welcome. And then for Saturday, come back with your responses to your home decoration ideas. Okay, great. So Om Shanti 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 Hari Om Shri Gurubhyo Namaha Hari Om Tat Sat. Thank you.
I have sent it already.
Thank you, Sonal.
Great.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you. Thank you so much, Sanjeev bhai.
Welcome. See you tomorrow. Bye.